watched Third Rock from the Sun.
I love that show. Let's talk about that. That'll be your topic.
Asobi!
Live.
Laugh.
Play.
This would be a good segue into my topic, since we're talking about television and digital media. My topic is that, have you heard that Netflix is in the early stages of creating a Legend of Zelda live-action show?
I heard rumors.
Yes.
I'm not excited.
It is not a rumor that they're in the early stages. You're not excited?
No.
Okay, good. I'm glad
There
we're
is
having opinions
almost
here.
no way that this could go well.
Explain. Elaborate.
Link doesn't talk. I can almost guarantee that in this show he'll talk.
Well, yeah, he will.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
And people will throw bitch fits.
Yeah, but people are going to throw bitch fits regardless of whether the show's good or not. People throw bitch fits at good shows. All the time. People are going to throw bitch fits at our show when people actually know who we are someday. People already do, and they don't know who we are yet. So, I am going to give them the benefit of the doubt, if only to play devil's advocate. And I will give them the benefit of the doubt not because it's Legend of Zelda, but because it's Netflix. Because if you watch any of Netflix produced shows on Netflix, like
they're kind of amazing.
They're really good. Like,
Oh yeah,
They
Netflix
just came out with a new one that I
Yeah,
cannot wait to watch.
fantastic.
yeah, they're all super, super good. And I haven't watched all of them, and haven't even watched much of them, except like The Fall. I actually finished that. But I've watched like documentaries that are Netflix productions that are really good. I've watched all kinds of stuff that are really good. And so I believe that Netflix would, I think for them to actually be trying to do this, so I'm thinking Nintendo's going to be very protective of The Legend of Zelda because they were seriously burned with the Super Mario Brothers movie, years ago, which as a movie I actually enjoy, but everyone knows it's not Super Mario Brothers.
I agree with you.
Yeah, it's not a bad movie. It's entertaining, and that's what movies are supposed to do. But it is not a Super Mario Brothers movie. So to that respect, it's awful. And Nintendo thinks it's awful. And so they're going to be really protective. So the fact that they're actually...
Bye, Momo.
Bye, Momo. The fact that they're actually going through with it and that Netflix is doing it, I feel like they're going to take really good care of it. And I think that it could actually... It has the potential to be very good. So that's what I think. Now, obviously, we're not going to see even a second of it for a long, long time because it's really in the early stages. But what I'm hearing is that it's not a rumor that it's happening anymore. Like, it's basically, they're just in the very early stages of doing it. But, you know, if it's in the very early stages, it could just as well mean that it will never happen.
You know what I would think would be wise for any IP moving from the video game medium to a TV or movie medium is that they stay in that universe, but they don't use the characters from the games.
Yeah.
It can take place in that universe, but with a different cast. Because people, I know they're working on a Metal Gear Solid movie, and I really hope, and I'm sure they will use Solid Snake, but I was really hoping, let's have it focus on somebody else. And you can reference Solid Snake.
Yeah.
You can call David Hayter and have him use, talk a line. They're not going to do that.
No. Metal Gear.
It should not use the people from the game because that is also going to hurt your sales.
Yeah, that's already its own universe. Use the universe, but use different characters. Metal Gear itself has actually done that and focused on Raiden. Also, I want to get back to Legend of Zelda, but just to diverge for a bit, we could talk about Uncharted supposed to be coming out with a movie. It's going to be Nathan Drake. Last of Us is supposed to be coming out with a movie, but some are wondering if it's actually going to follow Joel and Ellie, which to me, most people hope not because that story needs all that time, and you'll see because we're all playing it together now. And you'll see as we progress through it that it needs all of this hardship and all of this. For it to be a TV show where it's like a whole series long would make more sense than just a movie because it needs all of those things that are happening. It can't be summed up in 2 hours. So it's either going to be them, but not the game storyline. It could be them in the future, or it could be younger Joel pre-Ellie, but post-apocalypse basically. And then BioShock might be coming out with a movie. Assassin's Creed's already in the works. It's supposed to take place in Italy.
Fassbender is
Michael Fassbender. Michael Fassbender.
Yeah.
He might have been the voice on Destiny that was apparently not sold very well. No, I don't know who it is then. Never mind. Jeez. So that Assassin's Creed, and it's Italy, but we don't know if it's going to be what's his face from the games, or necessarily if it's going to follow that. And
yeah, I was just thinking, all really good examples of games with big open stories and universes where it would be easy to use somebody else. In Assassin's Creed, that the trend is often that they follow a different assassin every few games.
And it could easily be just anybody.
Yeah,
and they could never touch it on it in games or make reference in the new games to the movie. It doesn't have.
I hope they handle it wisely that way.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm more reluctant about stuff like that. Resident Evil movies are weird because I don't think that they're very good in the sense that, as far as Resident Evil is concerned, but they make tons of money, so people must really like them. But I really love.
I would imagine don't play the games.
Yeah, I imagine that they don't either. Because when I went to see the first one, I thought, okay, it's not a bad movie, I suppose, but it's not Resident Evil. And because I went in expecting to see a very horrifying, scary, like I'm not going to sleep tonight, Resident Evil movie, and the Silent Hill movies too are just awful. God, they're awful.
It was just an
I'm sorry.
action film.
I know it takes a lot of work to make a movie, and I'm really, really sorry, but they're just not very good. Yeah. Anyway, so go back to Legend of Zelda, though.
I was saying it's literally a different Link every time.
Yeah.
So I guess it's entirely possible that they could make one with a Link that speaks.
Yeah, exactly. And I was going to bring that up because one question that I want for the YouTubers and the Twitchers to bring up to us, either in the YouTube comments or live in the Twitch now.
Good night, Mara.
Good night, Mara. Oh, everybody's leaving. So let us know in the YouTube comments also about your theories for this, or not theories, but suggestions for this, or what you want, your desires. What would your, like, if there, okay, well, obviously your desire would be for it to just be something in the timeline that hasn't yet existed in the games. A Link that we haven't met yet, who obviously talks, and that's the character. So I was going to ask if...
We don't want to see a recreation of something we've already experienced.
Okay, that is what River is saying. And a lot of you will probably agree, but if it could take place with the Link that you already know, or in a world that you already know from one of the games, which would it be? Or would you want it to be an original Link that is a Hyrule that we haven't seen yet? I think the best bet, honestly, would be a Hyrule that we haven't seen yet. I think you're really onto something there, and I agree with you. I had already thought that myself. But if it had to be. Yeah. If it had to be a Zelda or a Link that we already know, which would you choose? Which would you choose? YouTube and Twitch. Mine would probably be Ocarina of Time, Link, and Majora's Mask.
That's another thing, though. If they did, there's nothing to spoil. People would already know how the story goes.
But it doesn't have to be that story. It could just be in that universe. It could be post Ocarina, and it can be post Majora's Mask.
Okay, yeah, that's fair.
It's just that Link. It doesn't have to be the same story and retold. What I don't want them to do, and I really don't think that they will, but I really hope that they don't, is retell a story that's been told. Like retell Ocarina of Time. Like take something that's beloved and just retell it in a movie format or a film format. I don't think they should do that. I think they should do exactly what you said and introduce a new Link and a new Hyrule. And that's that. But they're really going to have to try because as great as people probably like the story of Zelda, what really comes down is what are the dungeons like? I want to do puzzles. I want to find this. I want to find that. I want to do this. So they're really going to...
Twilight Princess, and I agree.
Yeah, Twilight Princess would be a good one too. I almost, actually, bringing up Twilight Princess, I almost think that Twilight Princess would have just been a better movie than the game. To be honest, like if any of them would have just made a better movie, if you could take any of them and take it out of the gaming universe and it's no longer that game, and it was the movie instead, I think Twilight Princess probably would have worked the best because as much as I enjoyed Twilight Princess, I think it's probably most people's least favorite or far down there.
I have a potential segue.
Potential segue.
We're doing the potential segue song.
Balls there. I'll just throw in balls. Emily's like falling asleep over here.
Games that should have been... I'm sorry. Games that would have made better movies. The Order 1866.
Definitely would have been a better movie. We have Well, you pretty much watched it all.
I had to.
So it pretty much was a movie for you.
But it's divided. I mean, I'm sure the gameplay bits were good, but it shows that they put so much more work into the cinematics, that they literally could have made an amazing feature film or series of films out of it.
I agree. I agree with you. I know
it's like 75%.
I haven't played it yet, and I actually haven't seen much of it just because I might plan to play it one time, and I don't want it to be completely spoiled. But I have heard that they actually created created their own filter that they put over anything that the cinematics are happening. So it literally looks like it's being filmed through a camera. That there's actually glass there.
Wow!
And if you look at the cinematics again, you might notice it now that you know it. But they actually did that. They made it so that when the light shines on or whatever, there's dirt or blood or something. I don't know exactly how it works, but it makes it like that's there, and not just in the usual video game way, where if the sun shines, you kind of see a gleam,
flare,
but that it actually looks as if literally there's a sheet of glass between you and what's actually happening. That you're actually looking through a camera lens. So, with that respect, should have been a movie. Go ahead.
Another segue. My friend Matt hates that. When you get blood or water on the lens.
Oh, and it's like on the lens, yeah.
It instantly pulls him out.
Is this Matt?
Matt Parks.
Matt Parks. Oh, hi, Matt Parks.
Instantly pulls him out of the immersion.
That's
because it shows that there's a camera guy.
I was going to say I almost felt like it's far more immersive that way, but
if
you're right.
You actually got something in your eye, you're not going to see.
Well,
that
here's the thing,
you're going to be instantly blurred.
If it's first person, I can understand it because you're not going to get blood in your eye and see a little bit of blood in the corner here. You know what I mean? But if it's like, because The Last of Us does it really well, where it does look like it's a camera, and when you're going through certain, you can see like dust particles up against the lens. And I think it actually looks really cool because it is a camera, regardless of the immersion. Like that literally is the camera. You call it the camera. You call it the y-axis and the x-axis of the camera. Hi, Leia. I'm very glad you're in a good mood. Hi. So Leia's here. So if you start seeing spots disappearing from the podcast, that'd be why. Anyway, so let us know in the comments, YouTube comments.
We branched all over that.
Yeah, that's okay. Let us know in the YouTube comments about Zelda, what universe you'd like it to take place in, if you want a new one, or if you'd like it to touch on a universe you already know, whether you want it to retell a story, or whether you want it to just continue or be a prequel to one of the universes you already know with a link that's already been established. And while you're at it, why don't you go ahead and throw in, let us know what video games you think would have been better movies and not have been a video game at all, or vice versa. If there was a show that you wish you think would have been better to play it instead of just watch it, I think would also be cool. Excellent. Great topic. I mean, I know it was my topic, but like I think it brought up a lot of good subtopics.
Yeah.
Hey, you. Emily, is there anything else you want to talk about? I think I think this is a pretty good podcast. So yeah. Hey, kid. Big hug. Big hug. You want daddy? I think this would be a good time to end here. Thank you so much, everybody, in the Twitch for joining us for the live broadcast, and thank you so much for our YouTubers who are watching us now on the archive footage. We really appreciate your support. This has been AsobiCast, episode 5. My name is Joey.
My name's River.
Emily.
And even little Leah is here for just for the very end of it. Very good. I think she needs a diaper change. Thanks, everybody. And don't forget, hashtag live, laugh, play. Bye. Say bye, Leia.
Okay.
All done. She's all. Bye, Leia.